Yes, guys, and welcome from me. This is Championship Manager 0102, the Lowend to Legend, part 19. Now, essentially, this is the start of season 26, which is quite fucking incredible. It really is. We'll start with myself then, with Flamengo. So, Flamengo, you may recall from the previous parts, we've had a bit of a tough time in Brazil. And from this perspective, July, we're actually halfway through the season. But we won the Campeonato Championship. We won it, well, I want to say convincingly. And whilst that is actually better than what we won it last year, it doesn't quite work like that because it actually works at the first period, which is the first 11 games. The winners of the first period play the winners of the second period, which essentially was me anyway. But that is how it works. So I don't have to have a final. And that happened, of course, this time last year as well. This is our third year in Brazil. Because we were Bragantino, of course. Flamengo, we lost it at the last hurdle. And this is our, we have got to do it. We have really got to do it. We retained the Copa Libertadores, having beaten Corinthians. Now, Corinthians are going to be the team that we've got to beat. Let me remind you, when we lost it last season, cast your mind back, we were in the World Club Cup as well, which we lost. But we lost to Corinthians in the playoffs, and we haven't lost the first leg when we had a goalie red card, and I was absolutely raging. Because I knew that, I felt we could still win the second leg, but we did, but it wasn't enough. But that meant a whole year, needed in Brazil. But it is what it is, and we went out and spent a few quid, as you can see there, £326 million to be precise, whilst our money starts to take a bit of a hit now. But I think we've still got at least another 2 years worth of signings. We even brought the Cole Palmer regen, as well as we've got the Saka regen already here. The Cole Palmer regen's been a regular player for us. There's the Saka regen. The Cole Palmer one, I believe it's Cole Palmer anyway. I'm trying to remember his name now. Neil Dyer, what a player. 20 assists and 10 goals. So 30 involvements in 30 goals. Now let me show you something really quickly. My striker, let me know what your views are on my striker that I brought. Gergo Vajada, Hungarian, 48 and 29, pretty fucking impressive for someone that I paid £66 million for. As I was raging last season because of what happened, I bought a new striker and not replaced him, but it meant this guy had to stand aside. And look at this guy from last season. In all competitions, bearing in mind I was in a lot of competitions throughout the whole calendar year, 127 goals, 22 assists. That is a record for me personally. 149 goal involvements in 69 appearances. But it just proves, don't it? It means fuck all, because I didn't win what I needed to win. And no, that is not Haaland regen. Haaland regen is a different guy. Definitely a different guy. We shall see. So that's where I'm at then. We're at the start of the second half of the season, the most important one. Something I don't really know. Hang on, we'll come back to Matt in a minute. As you can see, Matt is at AC Milan. Something that I'm not really familiar with is how the Brazilian FA Cup works, because I've not been in it this year, and I wasn't in it last year. When I was Bragantino in the season before, Flamengo were in it. I don't know how it works, why I'm not in it. I don't know if it's because I'm in the Sudamericana, is it because I'm in the Liberadas? I don't know. And I thought those were both hard-coded, but they're not, because Bragantino were in the Libertadores. As you can see, they were in it there. And they weren't the season before, so I don't really know. Anyway, over to Matt. Matt, leg complete at AC Milan. He's at the start of the season. He's made signings, but these are really, I didn't actually realise he'd made all 10. But these are quite irrelevant because, Lee McIntyre, that's Declan Rice, of course. I didn't realise he'd made all 10, but he's looking for a new job. He's on 6 legs completed. 6 legs completed in the game against my 9. And Matt is now looking. Where's he looking? I don't know. I think he's looked at Airdrie in Scotland. He's looked at Brazil. It's a tricky one. It's going to be very, very difficult now to get the sort of thing that he wants. Who knows where Matt will go? But credit where it's due, because he also won the Champions League last season with Milan. I think give him a lot of credit where it is due. And he beat Union Berlin in the final, I believe it was. And I'll tell you something really bizarre, right? As to so he won the Champions League, but this is a bizarre thing as to who won it last year. Brighton. Hence, they beat me in the World Club Cup final. They've never won the Premier League title. They finished second, I think, the year before in the Premier League, and they won the World Club Cup. I was a little bit angry at the World Club Cup because I felt we could beat Brighton. I really did feel we could have, maybe should have beaten Brighton. And as you can see, we lost 1-0 after beating Leopards in the semis. I was quite confident, but they beat us. You know, they deservedly beat us. I think it's fair to say, as you can see. So I was a little bit angry, and of course, losing that World Club Cup and then losing to Corinthians, I was fucking seething. I really was. We got Cruzeiro in the semi-finals. Let me remind you how Serie A works. It doesn't matter whether I finish top, second, third, or fourth. It's a top 4 playoff after, is it 27 games or 23 games? 27 games. And the top, whoever finishes first will play fourth in 2 legs, and second will play third, and the final will be 2 legs. You know, as I said, you know, I was absolutely seething. I really was. And back in my first season in Brazil, I actually got into the semis with Bragantino. We actually did Bragantino. We actually did very, very well with Bragantino. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And we move on to the next chapter for Matt. The next challenge, so to speak, for me. I need to get out of Brazil. Not because I'm bored of Brazil, because I quite like it, if I'm really honest with you. I like the concept, and it's nice, you know, having this and that. But I just want to move on to the next leg of the game, you know. But that's it from me, guys. And until next time, from the low end to legend, take it easy.